Okay. I'd like to call the meeting of the Village of Campton Hills to order. It's November 4th, 2024 at 7 p.m. Roll call, please.
Trustee Boatner?
Here.
Trustee Burson?
Here.
Trustee McElvey is absent. Trustee Millette is absent. Trustee Muncy is absent. Trustee Williams?
Here.
President Warnicki?
Present. Okay. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. And Tom Williams, would you lead us in the pledge? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All righty. Okay, moving on to number 3, public comments. Tracy will read the names, and you can come up to the podium and speak then.
Mary Lankitis?
Got
I
it.
guess that's how this works. Thank you for allowing me to speak. I'm with the Campton Cemetery Association. My
Marietta, hold on. Is it on the microphone? Doesn't sound like it.
It is, but it's not
Okay.
close enough if you want to speak into it.
Like this?
Yeah.
Okay, is that better?
Oh, much better.
Okay. I'm with the Campton Cemetery Association, here to ask for funds. My associate, Chris Brower, is here. We are a 3-member board. You all know Whitney Cemetery, which is along Burlington Road. We have 3 others in the village of Campton Hills. And God's Little Acre is in the middle of Coron Glen. We were lucky to get some help from a scout group on Sunday, last Sunday. It was an Eagle project. So at any rate, we have met with Corinne Perrogue and David Young, and also with John Kupar from the township, who has promised us $5,000. I'm standing here to ask for help from the village, hopefully to match what the township has put in. We have been sort of under the radar for years. I've been the treasurer for 14 years, and we've always managed to get along until COVID, and when the price of gas, et cetera, labor started going up, and I say gas because we hire mowing done. We have a very good guy who gives us a really good result, but at any rate, as the prices go up, we are impacted by that. So that's the reason that I'm here. We have paperwork and so on. Chris does a really great job with the historical aspect. I'm the money person. She does the history aspect. We have Revolutionary War soldiers. We have Civil War soldiers buried here. And we'd like to expand our offering to more of the scouts who come for the programs that she runs. And, well, to do that, we just need some help. So that's why I'm here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Marietta.
Holly Boron? Give me 1 sec to set up here, guys, tonight. Okay, so last week at the zoning commission meeting, unfortunately, the village's recording didn't work. I thought there was something very, very, very important. Mike Millette made a great speech. Unfortunately, only those that were there got to hear it because the recording didn't exist. However, we were lucky enough that Jim Brown had a recording of it. So he gave that to me today, and I tried to start transcribing it, and I was just going to read it, but I realized after 2.5 minutes that you can't transcribe Mike Millette. So what I'm doing instead is I'm just going to play his recording for you.
So when we started this journey in January,
that from the direction that the board was giving you and your charge, and I'd like to compliment each and every one of you on diligently and honorably and with passion fulfilling that charge. This is the life work, in my mind, of our entity as a village. I think there are several of us that are at the beginning. Some of us are newer, but I think most of us had the same passions that we wanted to protect what we moved out here for. And hearing some of the folks last week, I still get dismayed every once in a while that they're telling us that we're going to cause more development, which, okay. That they do speak from a place of the same passion, the same concern that we all have attacked this or come at this. And from the large impetus that many in this room had, which was the big land grab from Elgin. You remember, I'm the one from the south side. I was the one that was more concerned with Elbert, coming our way. But the one thing that I vividly remember, and a few of you know this, is a zoning issue that was down the street from me at that time, before we incorporated, was heard at the county level. And even though the county has a zoning commission, they're just not quite supernumerary, but they are a advising body, much the same as other commissions are. But their representation, they were a body of 5 or 7, 5. And the closest person that was on that group that was hearing the concern that was a mile from my house was from Virgil Township. And that, in and of itself, was an impetus for me to realize, oh, okay. Even though I knew I moved into a zoned community, which is the other argument for the guy that said you can't tell me what to do. Kinda, we can, but we want input before we tell you, because it's we collectively that are telling you. And knowing that we would get to this someday, some days, I'm very proud that we are at the point where we can truly call this ours. We adopted what we had to from the county. We made a few tweaks here and there, and then we began the engagement process in the way we needed to, which was to take advantage of free assistance that was available, which comes with strings and time frames that we don't have as much control over, and with an entity that wasn't quite familiar with our situation and tried to put a more of a cookie cutter style, and we heard immediately back from the body, the citizens, that wasn't going to be ours, and I agreed. And through the subsequent time and through a pandemic and through all this other stuff that's happened, we are here and you helped us bring it here. And you, as I said before, you've done admirably, and I appreciate your service, each and every one of you. And I believe I can speak for the board and say that as well. We'll do our best not to mess it up. You've left us a couple of good questions to churn out, which is great. That's part of the deliberative process. But what you have done is you have given us a level of comfort, a level of confidence that the thorny issues have been dealt with, have had their just hearing, so we can then focus on those few things that you just wanted to bring to our attention. So that's all, Mr. Chair and everybody. Thank you very kindly.
All right. Mike Millett always says it best. And thank you, Holly, for bringing that and playing it. Are there any other public comments? I saw you filling out a form. No? we need to see the form, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, they just bring it up here, thank you. I didn't want to skip this.
Charnel Jackson.
Yes, I'm just here to pretty much talk about the zoning of barn animals. I think that's what you called it. There's been 9 years of zoning, the zoning process. I guess I really don't understand why this is now being expanded with no limits to it, when it was pretty much methodically done over a very long period of time, to make sure that there was enough, if you had like 1 acre, that there was enough, that the animals were not overcrowded within an area, right? To the east of me, to the west of me, I have a farmer, have no problems. He has livestock, about 8 acres, but it's moderate. He has cattle and hogs and ducks and just a variety of animals. But it's all kind of pretty much within the confines of his property. It's really not a lot of animals. So I am the president of the HOA, Westwoods Homeowners Association. To the west of me is a farmer, well, does really well. To the east of me is another farmer, agriculture. So my property is the only property that borders 2 farms. However, one's to the east, to the south of me, the south, has agriculture, and he does have some animals. He does have chickens and roosters. So we live in a residential area. So I'm just wondering, if you expand that out, how are we supposed to, as an HOA, if you say there's an unlimited amount of animals that you can have on your 1 acre, 2 acre property, how are we supposed to handle that? It puts a burden, undue burden, on homeowner associations that are functional. To have unlimited amount of animals on properties. And I just don't understand why there need to be an expansion of that when it was already, a decision had already been made. Now the decision comes to upend that. It's putting an undue burden on our members of our association and our community. And I hope that you reconsider sticking by what was done for 9 years, as opposed to now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chanel. All right, anybody else with a public comment? I would just like to mention, oh. Yeah, how are you, Jane? Good, okay, yeah. We just put new batteries in that on Wednesday. I think so. We just put them in on Wednesday. Yeah. I think we do need a new light. Mhm. If she doesn't know that, exactly. We can't answer that. Yeah. Got him? Ah, that might be it.
There you go.
Okay,
your-
I guess we're back on. I'm Jane Holly, and I'm representing the Lake Hampton Property Owners Association. I did send a letter to some of the members that are here tonight, but I just kind of wanted to reiterate because I had the chance to speak. We actually have two, potentially three properties in our POA that are slated to be designated as open space areas. The concern that we have is that I understand from discussion last week that there will be private open spaces and public open spaces. What's important to us is that our spaces right now are private, and we choose to remain to have them private. But I don't know that when I look in the booklet, the draft, whatever that is, I don't see any language that talks about private open space, and that's really important to us. So I just would like to understand it. As I had mentioned in the letter that the gentleman, and of course now I know the video from last week is lost, but he was the vice president of the Fox Mill Association and was talking about private land they owned and public land that they owned that were both to be designated as open space. But what I did notice on the map, that their private open space, the coloring of the map is a lighter green as opposed to the darker green. And so I'm just, I've sent the letter because I'm hoping that that will be considered and that where there'll be, language as well in the draft to indicate the private and the open space. And then one of our lots is listed to be slated as residential. It's an excess lot. We're never going to build anything on it. So I don't know if that was an oversight or not. I'm just wanting to make sure that that's corrected as well. So thank you for your time.
All right, thank you, Jane.
You bet.
All right, anybody else? Okay. I just would like to acknowledge that November 1st is the start of Native American Heritage Month. And that was a request by somebody, and yeah. All right, we'll move on to motion to move the consent agenda.
I would like to actually pull items 4A from the consent agenda, please.
Okay. Any other items to pull from the consent agenda? Okay, Janet, go ahead. Oh, excuse me, I'll move